Okay, so we will start with the session. In this session, what I'm going to discuss with you is actually the concepts like value, okay, and then ethics, and then morality. So these are the three main concepts: ethics, morals, or morality. Okay, so what is the difference between ethics and morals? Sayuj, please turn off your mic. So when we discuss about value, ethics and morality, this is not that a big deal, but there can be question. In fact, in 2018 in UPPSC also this question was asked, what is the difference between ethics and morality? So the point here is most of us will understand this as the same and we take it as the synonymous, right? For example, we talk like it is not ethical to do this or it is not moral to do this. So both, if you see, we are using almost synonymously. In fact, both are actually the same sides or two sides of the same coin only. But you can see here two words are there. When two words are there means there may be some context in which the meanings can be different. And that's what exactly we need to understand, and we will have to understand it very clearly. Because conceptually, if they ask a question on what is ethics and morality or what is the difference between ethics and morality, then you should be in a position to write an answer for 10 mark. And keep in mind, you're not going to write an essay, you're not going to write for 300 words, you're not going to write for 100 or 1000 words. You're just need to, or you're supposed to write 125 words, and the concepts has to be there. And you always need one example. So any question from the concept, if it is asked, I've told you from the first 12 to 13 question, which will be from the conceptual side. So talk about the concept, talk about the different dimension, or if it is multi-dimensional, bring the dimension. So in ethics and morality also we will bring that dimension, and if in case some thinkers we are discussing, we need to bring that also, and then you always have to write an example. So that example will validate your understanding and validate your point, and you will be rewarded properly. So this is how we need to attempt all these initial 10 marker. Explain the concept, then give the example. So here, if you see, I'll start with an example. I'll give you an example, or before that I'll tell you what is value. Value means it is related to importance. Okay, you may give importance to certain people or certain things, or it can be also understood as preferences. Okay, so value means it can be importance or preferences. So I can give a definition like this: value is what on the basis of which you will decide. So you will decide the importance or preferences of any particular thing. Okay, so it is your value which decide the importance or preferences, or I can say desirability, undesirability, preferability, rejection. So preferability, rejection, desirability, undesirability, superiority, inferiority. So all these are actually coming from where? It is all coming from values. So the values are certain things which you carry in your mind, okay, and based on which you will evaluate the preferability, rejection, desirability, undesirability, superiority or inferiority of anything. So values are something which is there in your mind, and it could have been builded over a period of time, and various influence may be there, your educational institutions, your family, religion, so much of influence will be there. All those things we'll discuss later. But now just understand this term value. When we talk about value, this is going to come time and again. We will be discussing value, conflict, etc. So you need to clearly understand what you mean by value. It's all about preferences and rejection. It's all about desirability, undesirability. It's all about superiority or inferiority. Or in simple term, I can say it is all related to the importance, to what you give importance or to what you give preference. For example, if you have a patriarchal mindset, so what is a value? I can broadly say patriarchal value, right? So if you're following this patriarchal value, patriarchal mindset, what is important to you? That patriarchal setup is important to you, right? The male is important to you, or I can say male is preferred, then the female is rejected. Male is desirable, or male child you can talk about. Male child is considered desirable and female child is considered undesirable. So male is considered superior, and that is in fact what you mean by authority. It is a superiority or the dominance of the male over female. and female is considered inferior. So I hope you understood what you mean by value. Value means, in simple terms, it's all of importance. It's basically the preferences, to what you attach importance or to what you attach the preferences. It is on the basis of certain things which is there in your mind, and that's what values. It will be built over a period of time. How? Everything we are going to discuss later, but now just understand the term value. Okay, now we will move on to ethics and morality. So I've told you already, ethics and morality we use synonymously. For example, you may say in sometimes it is not ethical for me to do this, right? So in the same context, you may also say it is not moral to do this. So people may believe, or people understand, or we all understand in this way, that ethics and morality are the same. But as I've told you, if there are two words, then obviously there may be some difference. So at least in some context that may be different. Okay, so that is what we need to understand. Ethics as a discipline, that is a part of philosophy. So I'm not that concerned about part of discipline, but otherwise it is basically code of conduct. Okay, so we have discussed about values. Okay, now ethics means it's all about, or ethics and morality put together I will explain, and then as I've told you, this is synonymous. So both can be understood synonymously in terms of what? It will tell you what is wrong, what is right, or what is good, what is bad. So both ethics and morality is similar in what aspect? Both will tell you what is good, what is bad, okay, what is right, what is wrong, etc. Now I cannot use the word true false. Yesterday also I've told you this. Why not true false? Because this is again subjective. Okay, and within ethics and morality also, that is at the higher level of understanding. I will tell you ethics is somewhat objective. Objective, what you mean by objective also we will discuss. Objective means everybody will have the same meaning. Morality to an extent will be subjective. That means different people will have different meanings and different understanding. So that we will discuss within ethics and morality, objective and subjective, but otherwise I am simply saying true and false we won't use, because true and false we talk in terms of natural science, where it is completely pure objective. So this is in terms of numbers, in terms of quantifiable data, you have to tell true and false. That cannot be possible in the normal situation. So we won't use these words here. It is related to right, wrong. It is related to good, bad. So I hope you understood ethics and morality both are dealing with rights and wrongs, good, bad, etc. So that is how you can understand. Now, for example, non-vegetarianism. It is considered as bad if you say that is one kind of understanding, or vegetarianism is considered as good. So you can also say vegetarianism is right and non-vegetarianism is bad. So that is what you mean by ethics, morality, just as an example. Okay, it may not be the same for everyone. So that is how I need to make that difference, and I will make it clear what is that difference. But if you specifically ask me now, ethics and morality, what is the difference between them? Now what I've told you is ethics and morality both are almost same. They are same in which context? Like this, they are same. Now I will give you one more understanding. Ethics is somewhat broader, and morality may come within that. Okay, so in ethics, whatever we will discuss many other aspect also. So for 1 minute. So here ethics and morality, the specific difference is morality is at the individual level. So this is individual values. Ethics is the group level values. Okay, so for example, what all generally people accept as a group, that is ethics. Something which is codified. So we can say the values which are codified, okay, values which are codified is what is ethics. That is at the group level. So it can be at the societal level. When you talk about group, it can be at the societal level, it can be at the organizational level, or it can be in your profession, like we call it as code of conduct, etc. And individual level, it is your way. Okay, now I'll give you an example. For example, if you are a lawyer, or let's talk about the case of any lawyer. A case is there in a court, okay, and it is related to a rape case. And it is crystal clear that the rape was done, okay, and the rape of a minor, that is a case. but the accused person here, he don't have any financial condition, okay, no better financial condition. So it is the responsibility of the court to give adequate opportunity of hearing, and also he also must be given chance to justify his side, right? So his side also need to be heard. So he is not educated and he cannot argue his case himself, and he don't have the financial condition to appoint a professional lawyer also, professional legal practitioner. So what the court will do in this situation, will give a defense lawyer, right? So from the court's expense it will be given. So a defense lawyer will be provided. Now this defense lawyer also clearly know this person has committed this offense, okay, but when he became defense lawyer, then his code of ethics will come. So as per his code of ethics, he have to do the maximum to protect his client. So to protect his party, he have to do the maximum and he have to work for that. So here the defense lawyer have to work for the accused, even after knowing that he have committed a heinous crime. So if you go for ethics here, what is ethics? Ethics here is actually he have to help that person to come out of the case. But morality, which is at the individual level, that means this lawyer clearly know that whatever he is doing is against his conscience, okay, so that is against his morality, that is against his conscience, okay. So ethically he may be correct if you are doing this act. For example, when that person, the victim, will come to the court and will give the evidence, the statement. When the victim will give the statement, obviously the court will ask if you have any defense, you can cross-examine. So with his experience, he can definitely cross-examine and he can make some contradictions in the statement, and then entire case will go. Okay, simple, it is very simple, and entire criminal proceedings is actually in support of accused, if you see, because you know the proceedings, right? So the defense lawyer can clearly argue, especially with his experience, and especially you see the nature of the case and it's a minor, so you ask counter questions and it will be very easy for a defense lawyer to make contradictions in this kind of case. In that case, the accused will be left free, okay, but his conscience will not allow that. So this is where you can see a conflict. So I can say, when you are arguing for the that accused, it is actually part of your code of conduct, that means your ethics, but you are actually going against your morals, okay. So here you are ethical but not moral. I hope you understood this difference. So there is a difference in this context, you can see the difference. Now sometimes ethics and moral can go against, this is an example for that. Sometimes both can come together. You imagine the case of the public prosecutor in this case. Here there will be a public prosecutor. So public prosecutor is whom? The prosecution side, and the prosecution is arguing for whom? The prosecution is arguing for the victim. So in this case, the public prosecutor clearly know that the rape happened, it's a heinous crime, and the public prosecutor is arguing for the victim. So what is the ethics? He have to support the victim, and in fact he have to do whatever is possible. At the same time, here his morality also go with the same. So in this context, you can see from the public prosecutor side, ethics and morality go hand in hand. But on the other side, ethics and morality is going against. So ethics, yeah, you are following if you are arguing for the accused, but it is against your conscience, and you will feel guilty after, after arguments and after supporting the accused, you will come home and you may even cry also. You will feel guilty. No punishment will be there, but you will feel guilty. So I hope you understood this situation. And another case, if you see a doctor, okay, a doctor, what is his professional code of conduct? The rules are like, whoever has come to him, if possible, you have to save him. You have to save the life. That is a code of conduct, okay. So mainly the doctors have to follow at any situation, whoever it is, if it is possible for you, you have to help that person. Now you imagine a terrorist is coming to the doctor, okay, after committing some heinous crime, after maybe a blast or something, whatever it is, and he also got severely injured and he is coming to the doctor. Now as per the ethics, as per the code of conduct, what the doctor have to do? The doctor have to save the terrorist. That is what the ethics, that means that the code of conduct, which is the at the group level, what the organization say, what is the professional ethics say. But as an individual, he know this is what happened, and then it is actually going against morality. Okay, so I hope you understood contextually there is a difference between ethics and morality. And for example, one more case you can talk about, there is a coaching center A and there is a coaching center B, and you want to join one coaching. For example, here the course fee is like 2 lakhs and here the course fee is 50,000. Okay, and this is a branded institute and this is not that branded, newly emerging, but the teachers are really good here, but not that exposed to the outside world. Okay, but everybody will tell you to join here. Now imagine one of your friend is working here in this institute as a manager or a clerk or whatever it is. So you will ask him whether to join here. I have not that financial capacity. So in both case, I need to arrange money and it is very difficult for my parents to arrange money. So whether I should join here or I should join here, is there any difference? So here there is a question of again ethics and morality. As a person who is working here, drawing salary from there, what he have to do, his professional ethics is he have to talk good about the institute. So he should say that this institute is good. So that is one thing that you can understand, that is related to the ethics. But when it comes to morality, this person automatically know they are the competitors and they are emerging institute. They have the good teachers, materials and everything. And it's only what branding is what matters here. And you see the fee difference, and it is again your friend also. So taking all these things into consideration, your conscience or your morality will actually tell that person, your friend, to join here. The brand name is what matters here. Otherwise, the coaching almost in the same standard, whatever it is, it will be fine. So again, you will see the conflict here. Okay, so this kind of questions will be asked and how you're going to resolve it. All these we will be addressed in the coming session. So the point here is, I just want to make sure that you understood the difference between ethics and morality. So what I've told you is related to the value. Value means it is the preference or preferability or rejection, superiority or inferiority, desirability or undesirability. So that is value. So based on this only you will evaluate a particular situation, you will evaluate anything and its superiority or inferiority, preferences or rejection, etc. And this values, if it is at the group level, right, it is what you call as, you can understand as ethics now. And if it is at the individual level, it is the morality. But what is common here, both are talking about rights and wrongs. It may be at individual level, it may be at group level. Sometimes ethics and morality go hand in hand. That is the best situation. But the questions that you are going to get in your case study will be, the ethics and morality will go against. That's where we will discuss in terms of value conflict. The 3 cases that I have discussed, you can understand these are the type of case studies that you're going to get, and we will discuss how you're going to solve it. So if you want to write the definition, I don't think that you need to write. If you need to write a definition, you can write a definition. Values. These are the principles on the basis of which individual or group evaluate the desirability, undesirability, preferability, rejection, superiority, inferiority of any situation or anything. Okay, so you can add example, that patriarchal value. Okay, and then there are modern and traditional values. For example, when you talk about LGBT, okay, even modern value also you cannot say here. LGBT, you see, so here again you can talk about ethics, right? The group or the society say or go against it, but some individual who are modern will support this. Or you talk about sati, entire society was for sati because it's a religious practice and it is something which was considered as sacrosanct, right? So when the husband has died, the widow was forced to commit suicide in the funeral pyre of the husband. But this was the ethics of the society, because it is at the group level. It is considered as right and it is considered as good by the entire society. But who went against it? Raja Ram Mohan Roy. So it was his morality. It was his moral which went against this, right? So here you can see a value conflict, and there may be punishment if you go against the ethics, maybe it is not necessary like criminal trial or anything. There may be punishments like social boycott or some disciplinary actions, etc. But morality, you won't have any punishment. It is at the individual level value. You may feel guilty, that's it. There is no punishment here. Here there may be punishment in terms of social boycott, etc. Raja Ram Mohan Roy faced. Similarly, if you talk about Widow Remarriage Act, okay, so widow remarriage was not allowed. That was by the society. That is actually the ethics. But who went against it? Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, right? So it was his morality. And here also you can see the conflict between ethics and morality. Okay, so what is now simple term? How can you understand? If the question is asked, you need to say that at the group level, it is ethics. At the individual level, it is morality. And why I can say ethics are objective, just before I've told you, ethics we can consider it as objective, and morality or morals is somewhat subjective. Why? Because if it is at the group level, everybody tend to accept it, right? For example, sati, widow remarriage, everybody tend to accept patriarchy, everybody tend to accept it. And if it is in an organization or if it is in a profession, there are certain rules, there are some code of conduct, and that is objective. But morality, morals, it is at the individual, so that is subjective. It may be different for different people. Okay, so this is subjective. And here there may be punishment. It can be, in case of organization, it can be disciplinary action. Punishment, I'm not talking about any criminal prosecution. It can be a social boycott like Raja Ram Mohan Roy or even Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, okay, or even Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. You can give that examples. But in this context, there may not be punishment. Okay, for example, that coaching institute person, if the organization come to know that he or she did that, there may be a punishment. She may lose the job also. But morality, no punishment. Whether you do correct or not, no punishment. It is only guilt, that feeling that you will have. So I hope that is clear. What is ethics, what is morality, and what you mean by value. Just write one line over there. You can write it. Ethics and morality are the principles which helps in determining rights and wrongs, right, wrong, on the basis of values. Okay? And what I've told you, you can write in bullet point. Morality is individual centric. That means it's all based on individual conscience. Individual centric, based on individual conscience, and it is subjective. Ethics at the societal orientation or group orientation, and it is objective. Okay, so the codification of principles, that is what code of conduct, which is actually helping in determining the rights and wrong. So example, you can write professional ethic, that is a professional code of conduct. And for different professions, different code of conduct. For example, I've talked about lawyers, there are some code of conduct. IAS, IPS officers, there are some code of conduct. And now, ethically right or not, that is again a big question. Sati, what I've told you is basically to understand the situation. Ethics, as per the definition or as per the understanding, whatever is followed by the society, whatever is broadly accepted by the society, or let me show you in this way. For example, both are derived from where? Values. So both are derived from values. So from values, ethics will come. It is at the group level. You can also draw this and you can show this diagram. So ethics at the group level, if it is codified at the group level, if an entire group is accepting something, it is ethics. For example, we say something here, don't turn on your mic in between the class, and we are all accepting it. Then it becomes part of the code of conduct of this class, and that can be considered as ethics. Okay, but someone of you may not like it. You may want to turn on your mic. Okay, that is individual morality. But here that may not be the case. But I hope you understood it's all about the group level. So group orientation or societal orientation, or it can be workplace, it can be profession, it can be anything. So here it is institutional level. So there it is all rules and regulations, and it is external. It will come from outside. No, it is not internal. And these are objective. So you have enough point to write now. There is no point in reading 2 3 books or 300 400 pages or words for this. Just understand this and that's enough. The concept, if you understood, means this is what you need to reproduce, and just write 3 example 4 example. I've given you 1 example is enough for you. Okay. And when you talk about so values are based on preferability, rejection, superiority, inferiority, and then desirability, undesirability, importance, etc. Right. So this is about values. So values which are codified at the group level or at the societal level, okay, or at the collective level, that is what ethics. What about morality? It is at the individual orientation, individual level. Individual level is what? Morals. Okay. And it is subjective. This word has to be there in your answer. This is what makes it very specific. So this has to be there. This is subjective because it is at the individual level, and this is objective. So this has to be there in your answer if the question is asked on this. Okay. And this is internal. This also has to be there. When I'm talking about individual level, it will automatically come internal, and this is external. That when you talk about group level or society, automatically it will come. It has to come. Okay. You can also understand like this, ethics, and part of that will be moral. Okay. So when you discuss or when you understand about moral, what is immoral, what is immoral, or what is non-moral? Moral, I hope you understood. Okay. So like being honest, that is moral. And immoral means something you should not have been done, you're doing it, that is immoral. You should not do, that is something which you are doing. Okay. And then non-moral, it is neither moral not immoral. Like, see, you are attending this class, there is nothing moral or immoral here. You are reading a textbook, you are sleeping, you are drinking water, there is nothing moral or immoral. So that is non-moral. So in case if at all you need to write something related to this, just keep this in mind. That's it. Okay. Now when you talk about patriarchy versus gender equality, here you can see the value conflict. These are two different values, right? So you can say modern value versus traditional value, patriarchy versus gender equality. So you may be modern. Okay. So you talk for gender equality, like temple entry during menstrual cycle. Okay. But the society is against it. So here you will face value conflict. That is the example that I've talked about from Raja Ram Mohan Roy already. Now, how this ethics is codified? So if you see morals, then ethics, this through socialization. Through socialization, ethics will become morals. So society is saying something, and when you socialize, when you are born, then through family it will be coming to you, and then through peers, then through institutions, educational institutions, etc. That will shape your morals. Okay. And then once these morals are again codification, this keep on changing, right? Codification. For example, in this class itself, we codify something, then it becomes part of ethics. Like we all turn off the mics. So that is a moral at the individual level. All of us want that, and when it is codified, it becomes the rule of the class, and the newly coming student have to follow that, and he will be socialized to follow that. Okay. So this is how you can see ethics and morals. This is the relation you can see. Okay. Now just make this diagram also. This is ethics and this is moral, and sometimes both will come, ethics and moral. So this is better situation, ethical and moral. So the lawyer helping the accused, the one example that I have told you, what is that? That will come under this. Right? The lawyer helping the accused will come under ethics, but not here. Why? Because it is not moral. It will not come here, obviously. And the coaching center, the manager who's telling the student to join in that low cost institute, what is that? That is coming under here, moral. But is that ethical? No, because you are working in that institution and you are telling that student to join in the other institution, because your conscience say the other institution is also equally good, but at the same time your friend don't have much money to pay here. So 1.5 lakh is a big huge amount for that person, so you tell that and your conscience will tell you to do that. So it is moral, but it is not ethical. Now from the examples which I have given, which will come here, the public prosecutor who is arguing for the victim, he will come here because he is doing ethically, trying to save the victim. At the same time, it is moral. His own conscience will also tell you. So this also need to be there in your answer. This difference. There are cases which can be. So what is this? Let me mark it as 1, 2, 3. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. Okay. So 1 means what? That is ethical, but not moral. What is 2? 2 is moral, but not ethical. What is 3? Moral and ethical. So in your case studies, we will always strive to get this answer, but that may not be the case. If that is the case, it is very easy. It is like between good and bad. It is very easy to select. The confusion that you will face here only, and we will try to solve that in the value conflict. Okay, one more concept here, since we have discussed about values, just give a heading, types of values. Types of values. Now, two types are mainly instrumental value and intrinsic value. Okay, so instrumental value, intrinsic value. So we will discuss about this concept later also when we discuss about utilitarianism and various other concepts. So Kant's philosophy, okay, Kantian philosophy or consequentialism, all we will discuss that time. Instrumental value, for example, it is related to utilitarian value. It is actually a utilitarian value. What is this? It is actually related to means to an end. For example, you go to gym. Okay, why you go to gym? You really want to become healthy, or you just want to show off? That is a question here. Or take another example. You are preparing for this. You are preparing this ethics paper. You really want to be ethical in your life, and for that you are preparing for this, or you just want to pass this exam. Okay, so that is what you mean by means to an end. This you are preparing only to crack this exam. And if that is your mindset, then only there is a point in attending this class also. Okay, so it's not about any other things. It is actually, that is what you mean by means to an end. Otherwise, you don't want to attend any class to become ethical or anything, right? So intrinsic value means what? It is the end in itself. For example, the same, you are going to the gym, you want to become healthy and you need to maintain a good diet. So what is the end there? What is the ultimate result there? It is basically you want to be healthy. So that is what you talk about intrinsic value. Go to the gym. So you want to become healthy. You go to the gym just to show off your body, your style, okay, and maybe attracted to the Bollywood stars. So this is instrumental value. But if you really want to become healthy, then you eat good, you have a very good diet, okay, not much supplements. So that is end in itself. So what you want to become there, you want to be healthy. For example, another case, you are preparing for this civil service exam, optional or ethics paper or whatever it is. You are preparing it purely for knowledge purpose. Then we can consider it as end in itself. But if you're preparing only for passing this exam, that is means to an end, then that is what comes under instrumental value. Okay, nowadays education is basically to get job only, right? It is only about getting job. It is not getting educated. So forget about IAS, IPS, for that matter, anything. It is just exam oriented. It is just at academic level, just to get the job. So now it is actually reduced to this level, means to an end. Intrinsic value means, again, you can think of any individual irrespective of what he is doing. He may be an IAS officer, IPS officer, he may be a manual, menial employee or labor, but still individual always have intrinsic value. Okay, individuals always have intrinsic value. Just write one line there. Instrumental value. It is a value which is the value which is a means to an end. That is, it is valued to an extent to fulfill some purpose. To fulfill some purpose. Intrinsic value, it is an end in itself. We will discuss about this when we discuss about the moral philosophers in detail, what you mean by end in itself and how can you treat individual like that. And if you can treat individual like that, then you will reach at the highest level of ethics. We will discuss that, okay? Then next, nature of values. Nature of values. Here we will discuss about universal versus particularistic value, or you can write or particularistic values. What is the example? When you talk about caste, okay, it is specific to Indian context, so it's a particularistic value, it is a parochial value. But when you talk about constitution, it's a universal value, it is applicable to all. Particularistic, applicable to sections, okay? So that is what universal value, applicable to all, applicable everywhere, anytime. Particularistic, it's a parochial value, applicable to some, okay, in some context, etc. Objective, subjective, these are different, these are the nature, objective and subjective. Constant, constant means eternal, it will remain the same, versus context specific or time specific, it changes based on the time. For example, when you talk about love, care, okay, all these are this constant, or you can write eternal values, okay? So non-violence, love, care, tolerance is a very important value, very important concept that we will discuss about that, tolerance, okay? Then you can talk about various, lot of other values is there, patriarchy versus gender equality, okay, group value versus individual value, and then oriental value versus western value or modern value, traditional versus modern, western versus oriental means eastern societies. So these are the different types of values. Okay, now we will get case studies related to honor killing. These again are related to values only, values, ethics, morality, honor killing. So what is the value here? It is mainly patriarchal value, right? Mainly patriarchal value, parochial value, traditional value, and particularistic value, caste value. Why? Because it is based on caste system and the caste rules, right? What is actually honor killing? It is between, actually, for example, you understand this. There are two castes there, Brahmin versus Kshatriya. Let's say two castes we are taking, or A, B. Now, what is the marriage rule here? You are not allowed to marry between the two castes. That means exogamy. Marrying outside the caste is not allowed. There's a marriage rule. Marrying outside the caste is not allowed. Okay, so we call it as caste exogamy is not allowed. But actually, honor killing is not this, and we synonymously use honor killing with this also. People now try to understand like this, because between two castes also it is considered as honor killing, because it is going against the honor of the caste. That is why that name honor killing is there. You are doing something which is against the honor, so you will be killed, you will be punished, you require punishment, you require sanction, you will be killed, and that's why honor killing. But the actual understanding that may not be required, that at that level is not required for GS students, but still within Brahmins, if you see, there are different groups, okay? So different groups, like different gotras, you can say. So different gotras means the members in this gotra, they claim or they take, or all these are descendants of same ancestor. So all these members have the same ancestor, all these group members have the same ancestor, all these have the same ancestor, and this is what you call as clan or gotra. Different names you will see, gotra. So Indian, based on caste system, the marriage rule is not only caste exogamy. There is one more rule within, that is clan exogamy. So caste exogamy is not permitted. That means what is the rule? Rule is caste endogamy. That means you have to marry within the caste.
Caste exogamy is not permitted. You cannot marry outside. You have to marry within. You have to marry here within. Okay. Clan exogamy means you should not marry here. You have to marry outside the clan, outside the gotra. Why? You are related by blood. Okay. So in case, and honor killing is mostly applicable here. If you are marrying within, it is actually considered as against the honor. Because why this is so much, this is actually the more strict rule than this, because you are marrying the relative, you are marrying the blood relative. All these people are related by blood. And sometimes you will see in some books the rule as village exogamy. Why village exogamy is because entire gotra may tend to live together in a village. Okay, and there the head of the, then you will see kha panchayat etc in the village. So every village, the village, the all people, they will be the kha panchayat. So actually village exogamy is promoted. Village exogamy, from where it is coming? It is coming from clan exogamy, and the clan tend to live together in the village. That's why village exogamy. So you are not allowed to marry within the village. You have to marry outside the village, because it is considered that all the members in this are the descendants of the same ancestor. So if that is the case, you all are related. So you should not marry. Okay. So that's about honor killing. So we will discuss case studies related to honor killing. You will come across. So this is the kind of questions that you are going to get. Okay. You as an IAS officer or IPS officer will come across this kind of situations. What law says is something, what the society will say something. Okay. Now, law may go for intercaste marriage from 1872 onwards, Universal Marriage Act onwards. Actually, the law promoting intercaste marriage, but the society is against. Now, what you will do in this kind of situation, we need to discuss that. Later, we will do that. You will get questions on euthanasia. Okay, euthanasia. The person is suffering like anything. Even that person also want death. Okay, and he also need a honorable death than suffering with all these pain. Okay, so and his relatives also, in case if there is no chance, why the this person is suffering like this much, relatives are also ready. But as a doctor, you may not be able to do that, because you have to save the person. You know that maybe in 1 or 2 days he will die, but you have to save the person. So again, you will see a value conflict here. This person also want to die, the relatives also want to die. Okay, and this person in fact is requesting the doctor, kill me somehow, but still the doctor cannot do, because of the code of ethics. Okay, the code of conduct or the professional ethics. So this kind of capital punishment. Okay, all these situations we will see later in the coming sessions. But the main thing is that you need to have a clear idea about value, morality, ethics. So what we have discussed is values are related to the preferences or rejection, desirability, undesirability, superiority, inferiority. If values are codified, that is what ethics. Okay, or you can say ethics and morality. What is similarity? Ethics and morality, you will see, I've given you example where both go hand in hand, where both go against also. And we have discussed different situations, 3 different situations. I've discussed 3 different cases: ethical but not moral, moral but not ethical, both ethical and moral. So that example is the same, you can write, and you can, or you can get examples from your real life also. Okay, and then I've discussed with you ethics is at the group level. It is objective, and there may be punishment. It can be boycott, sanctions. Okay, promotion, not promotion, demotions, etc. And this morality, you will feel guilty, the guilt feeling, you will cry yourself, no punishment will be there. This is at the individual level, this is at the group level. So that's it. This is what we are discussing today, the very simple concept: value, morality, ethics. And I'm sure that all of you understood this, and if you get a question, you should be in a position to write all those things what we have discussed, and maximum you need to use write 100 words, and then one example. So it will be like 140 words. You have enough content, enough and more content for you to write for this particular question. That's it. Any doubts? We can discuss now.
Sir, I have one question.
Tell me.
Do we have any strategies, or can you please guide us to how to how to start reading that lexicon book, sir? Do you have any specific strategy based on your experience, sir?
I didn't get you. What you're saying?
Sir, I'm saying we have to follow that lexicon book as well. So based on your experience, can you guide us like how to approach that book? Like from which chapter we should start, or we should start since
Complete you read, because they kept on updating. When I wrote that year, it was very small book and I followed only that, in fact. But after that, they've updated like anything. So all the good contents which are related to the exam, the changing patterns of the exam, everything is actually incorporated in that. So you can read complete. In fact, it is required. One reading of that book is required for all of you.
So basically, sir, whatever we have gone through today in the class, the same thing we need to revise
At
from
this
this.
level, you may not find whatever I have discussed today. At this level, you may not find it in lexicon. It will be like for the exam, what is the minimum required? This level you won't find in lexicon, but we will do that in the class, so you can supplement with lexicon.
So sorry, sir, didn't get your point, sir.
So what I'm saying is, at this level, level of discussion you won't find in lexicon. What we have done today.
Okay,
but
so
whatever is there in lexicon, that is enough for exam point of view.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Intrinsic value will be more clear when we discuss about various philosophers. Intrinsic value means the inner, you have, it's like considering end in itself. An individual or anything should not be considered as means to an end. Okay, means to an end, I have given you example now, right? You are going and doing the workout in gyms. You are just interested in showing off. It is not for becoming healthy, and you take all the steroids, you take all the supplements and everything. So ultimately, it is just a means to an end, to maybe becoming an actor, or maybe showing off, okay, or maybe to get married, or maybe to get a girlfriend, like that. So that's what means to an end. You are preparing. It is just a means to an end. It is not because you want to become ethical, that's why you're preparing for ethics. Or you're studying sociology, it's not because you want to learn about society in and out, right? No, you don't want to become a sociologist. You just want to clear the exam. So that's what means to an end. End in itself means the actual contest. Yeah. Anything else?
Sir, President pardon power come under ethics or moral values?
Hello, sir.
Tell me, Praveen.
Sir, one question I have, sir. So, as you said, the values are related to the preferential and rejection and the desirability and undesirability. And
Hmm.
you said that these things will lead to ethics and morality. So,
Hmm.
how it is connected, sir? Can you just give me an example? Like, if you have a value, how it is
Hmm.
going to ethics and moral? I mean, I didn't understand the link.
Like values, the certain values like male is preferred, okay,
Okay,
male
okay,
is superior, that entire society is accepting, that becomes
okay,
ethics, and that is the code of conduct. In fact, that becomes the ethics of the entire society. That is something which is accepted at the societal level.
okay. So that
but
is
your
ethical.
value but your value is the opposite. You prefer a female child, so that is actually going against the society. That is moral. But both are coming from where? Both are coming from values only.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we will stop here. See you tomorrow.